Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now, including the slow death of local news. We'll tell you what's happening there. Are we coming to the end of local TV news as we know it? YouTube TV denies reports. We talked about this yesterday that the price may be going up. YouTube TV denies it. Kind of leans into what we talked about yesterday, but we got confirmation. Full breakdown, and Comcast and Warner Discovery reach a new TV deal. But for cord cutters, part of the deal allows them to do some bundle deals for Max and Peacock. Could we be seeing more Max options for bundles and Peacock options for bundles coming soon? These stories and a whole lot more coming real quick. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinion. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. Let's dive into it. Now, we've been seeing the slow death of local news for a long time now, not just in TV, but starting with newspapers. Many parts of the country now, either some areas don't have a newspaper or it doesn't come out regularly, doesn't do local news like it used to. At the time, many people said, well, you know, that's fine. Local newspapers are a thing of the past. We got local television. We'll watch local television. And now that is increasingly shrinking. Now, last few years, we've seen Sinclair shut down some local news in some markets, cut back in others, even doing things like a North Carolina local news is actually being produced out the studio side out of Texas, for example, to keep costs down. Well, Allen Media is also starting to lay off some employees inside their local news divisions, their local TV stations as a cost-cutting measure. This is becoming more and more common. The cost of TV and the drop in viewership, the drop in ad revenue, I talk about that so much, but it's a very big impact here, is driving major cuts in local news coverage, raising a serious question about local news in especially small and even some mid-sized towns across the country. While it's not completely gone and not dead yet, it's definitely slowly dying. The end of local news on ABC, CBS, Fox, and others is a very scary thing as we see increasingly it become nationalized. We'll keep a close eye on this, but have you noticed a decline in your local news quality on the local TV stations? So leave me a comment, let me know. Sadly, you know, radio stations used to have news departments. Most of those are gone, have been replaced with partnerships with TV. Newspapers in most places are gone or nothing like what they used to be. And now, are we seeing the same thing for local news? We'll keep an eye on it. Next story up. Yesterday, from when I posted this, we talked about a Verizon ad for YouTube TV that listed the price as $82.99. At the time, you know, when I talked about this in yesterday's video, if you watch it, you saw me say, this looks like this ad's been here a while and it's probably a misprint. Well, YouTube has come out and confirmed that, yes, that is a misprint, and they're working with Verizon to get that ad corrected with the correct price of $72.99. Now, it still wouldn't surprise me at all if in the near future we see a price hike. Most live TV services have had a price hike since YouTube TV has, and most cable companies, you know, Spectrum, Dish, or DirecTV, Dish, Comcast, all these have raised their price one or more times in the last year and a half or so. Very interesting to see this continue, and we'll watch it closely. But for now, Google's made it clear that they are not raising the price of YouTube TV right now. So that's good news for cord cutters. Link in the show notes if you want to learn more about that. But YouTube denying reports that they intend to raise their price. All right, Comcast and Warner Discovery has renewed their TV deal. Now, a lot of this has come about a new TV show about Harry Potter. Now, of course, Comcast was a little upset about the plans for how they would distribute that in the United States as part of a streaming offering. But with this, they've reportedly worked out those deals, and they will raise the cost for some TV stations, but TNT will not see a price hike. Now, probably means Comcast is going to have to raise their price. The cost of a lot of the content on these Warner Bros. Discovery owned channels like TNT, TBS, well, not TNT, but TBS, True TV, CNN, Discovery, Food Network, and others is going up. And because of that, Comcast will probably be forced to have a price hike soon. We'll keep a close eye on that. But the big news here for cord cutters is the fact that this gives Comcast the ability to bundle Max with other streaming services. You've seen, for example, Netflix, Peacock, and others do bundle streaming. Now we can see maybe Max added to that bundle or new bundles created with Peacock and Max in them. It's good news for cord cutters. Now, also the ad-supported streaming version of this will be bundled into some Comcast TV packages. Exact details on that is unknown at this time, but this contract gives them the ability to do that. Joining Spectrum and others in similar deals with this. Bundling. A lot of people call this cord cutting or cable TV. I would argue that bundled streaming services is very different than cable TV. The reason being, with cable is you have no option, right? You get 3 packages. And if so happens if one service, you only want that one channel, I should say, is in the high package, well, tough luck, you have to get the high package to get that one. The nice thing with bundles of streaming services is, hey, if all you want is Peacock, you don't have to get a bundle with Max and other services out there. Unlike with cable TV that says, well, tough luck, you want the ESPNU channel? Well, that's in our ultimate package, for example, and you have to get all 200 some channels to do that. Cord cutting still gives you far more flexibility, but on the flip side of that, if you are somebody who says, you know what, I do subscribe to Peacock and Max, and hey, this bundle is actually a better deal, and I get a 3rd or 4th streaming service with that maybe, it's not a bad deal. I think that's a huge difference when you hear people talk about the growth of bundling as cable. With bundling and streaming services, you have the option to take it or get individual packages like you want. With cable, you get no such freedom, so keep that in mind. All right, next up, we talked a lot about Warner Bros. Discovery. Excuse me, I apologize. Paramount and Skydance merger. That's what we're talking about. Paramount and Skydance merger. Reading, talking, I apologize. This is an $8 billion merger deal that will see Skydance take over control of Paramount. Now, according to reports, it's facing some new regulatory concerns now that there's a new administration coming in, and there's some fears that they'll have more strict concerns, and some unions they're also raising questions of unions will object to the merger. This merger is far from done, but I'll be honest, if it doesn't happen, Paramount's in a rough position right now. We'll have to keep a close eye on this, but question of the day, will Paramount successfully finish its merger with Skydance? If not, do you think Paramount would have to be broken up and sold for scrap? Don't know how else to describe it. For its parts. Here, leave me a comment, let me know. Hey, if you're not watching us over at CoreCarsNews.com, you're missing a lot of news that happens exclusively over there. We don't cover everything here. Sometimes we just don't have time. One of the things we've been doing over at CoreCarsNews.com is a what's happening today in TV history. And a couple big things have happened in the last week in the world of TV history. Interestingly, one of the very first acknowledgement of pregnancies on a TV show happened in December 8th, on December 8th, which was I Love Lucy breaking barriers by acknowledging Lucy's pregnancy. Now, with this, I wanted to watch a show about this, or I Love Lucy, and they talked about this. Apparently, the actress who played Lucy was pregnant, and the producers were asking, well, you know, this TV show or that TV show, we just kind of hid it with chairs, and we did this and that, and we hid it. And then we went on a little hiatus and had the baby, came back as if nothing happened. And she kind of said, well, when I get pregnant, I get really pregnant. And the idea was that her ability to hide this baby was not going to happen. So for the very first time, they decided to include a pregnancy in a TV show in 1952. That was groundbreaking. How far we have come from there. But very interesting. If you want to learn more about this and read about some of the things that happened, check out the story we have over at Core Cars News, link in the show notes. The other big story that happened, and it happened yesterday on December 9th, was the hit TV show Charlie Brown Christmas premiered, becoming an unlikely success. Today we think of this as a huge show with a huge amount of love behind it, Charlie Brown Christmas. At the time it was produced, it was kind of an afterthought. They didn't really think much of it. And it kind of spawned, and it was seen as too soul and too religious to be popular. Nowadays, it's widely seen as one of the best Christmas specials ever made and is very much loved, and Apple TV Plus now owns the rights to it. But Charlie Brown Christmas first premiered in 1965 and is credited with the popularity success of Peanuts as we know it today, being driven in large part thanks to this TV special spawning others and growing it. If you like these kind of stories, check out the links down below. Make sure to visit corecarsnews.com every day. More often than not, we post a story like this. Sometimes there's not really a good one, but we do our best to post one almost every day. Also, we have a bunch of what's new this week, including Netflix and Max and Hulu coming soon. If you want to see everything that's coming on Netflix, check out the show notes down below for what's new this week. Well, that's it for today. I hope you had a fantastic day. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.